Here on Joy News Prime, fresh details from the police MTTD indicates 81 people died from the 19th to the 26th of December 2021 alone. You have details as they blame indiscipline on the part of motorists for the atrocities.
Persons who were injured were 378, and during that time, 81 persons also died, and it is increasingly very worrisome.
Meanwhile, the National Road Safety Authority is blaming the lack of tough punitive regime for the impunity.
When they are apprehended or prosecuted, the sanctions meted out to them is not very, very harsh to deter themselves and others. These things will continue to happen on our roads.
Officers and agencies who compromise public security and peace will not be spared following the arrest of a military man in the shooting incident at the ANC Mall. We'll hear from the Military High Command.
Everybody should be circumspect with the use of firearm, even when the person is permitted.
5 months after the mysterious disappearance, family of Missing Lands Commission staff Rhodaline Amwa-Darko optimistic of finding her alive. Later in business, the Institute of Energy Security downplays the impact of suspension of stabilization levy for another month as fuel prices go up.
1st November, when prices were expected to fall because the levy was going to be suspended, prices rather increased by some 10 pesos because the things that were causing prices to rise up were not things that government was adequately handling or was even able to handle properly.
And later in the bulletin, we'll bring you highlights of the Love and Insure FM family party in the park. You have details of these stories and more in this 1 hour package. Please stay with us. Hello again, my name is Ernest Minif. The family of Missing Lands Commission staff is hopeful their relative will be found alive. It's been almost 5 months since Rhodaline Amwa-Darko, who turns 33 today, went missing. Though police have provisionally charged her husband, Dr. Wilberforce Nkrumah Agri, a lecturer at the Petroleum Department of the KNUST, with kidnapping, the family says the disappearance of the mother of two has left them in pain. Ohimin Terry Security Desk visited the Accra home of Rhodaline and has come through with this report.
Rhodaline Amwa-Darko, a staffer at the Kumasi office of the Lands Commission, would have turned 33 today. But the mother of two, described by the family as loving, caring and lively, is not available to observe a day which usually comes with pomp and pageantry. Her disappearance means no Christmas celebration for her extended family. For the family, it is hard to contend with the harsh reality of her disappearance.
It has been extremely difficult. Very, very, very difficult. Because this is the first time the children are not seeing their mother for Christmas. This is the very first time. And if they keep asking where the mother is, what do you see? None of the family celebrated Christmas this time. We are all looking forward to seeing our daughter. So to us, this Christmas didn't exist.
Members of the extended family, including the mother, sister, aunties and uncles, have been meeting on New Year's Day to pray and discuss the way forward for the disappearing Rhodaline. The family is optimistic their relative will be found alive. As optimistic as they are, the family is not sure when Rhodaline would return to the family. Charlotte Aqua, her aunt, is the family spokesperson.
We all have the faith that he is still alive, being kept somewhere by these wicked people. And we pray and we are trusting the Lord that he will bring her alive to us.
And how soon will this happen?
Who knows? We are waiting on the Lord. 1,000 years is like a day before the Lord. So all that we are saying is that he is the Lord. He is a faithful one. He knows everything. He knows where Rhoda is. We are pleading that the time of waiting should be shortened for us.
The family has, since the disappearance, received psychological therapy support from the police. But the family is challenged in dealing with Rhoda's two clever but emotionally traumatized children who keep asking questions on when their mother is returning.
Definitely, they will ask. They are not seeing the mother, they are not seeing the father. Isn't it heartbreaking for these little ones to go through such a thing? And the man should have thought about the case before kidnapping the wife. So it is very difficult for all of us. At times you will have to go and hide somewhere and try and you weep or try and find out or think about what you are going to tell the children. It is not easy at all. It's not easy. And I don't think it will be easy till we find our daughter.
Meanwhile, Dr. Wilberforce Agri is expected to appear before the Asokwa District Court on January 14, 2022. Reporting from Accra for Joy News, Ohime Interior.
Now we'll do some stories on accident, and fresh details emerging from the police MTTD suggests that as many as 81 people died within a space of 7 days. That's from the 19th to the 26th of December 2021. The police MTTD says the crashes in the festive season alone is worrying. We can hear from the director of MTTD, Dr. Amwa.
For the figure for the 19th to 25th December indicates the persons who were injured were 378. And during that time, that period of time, 81 persons or 81 people also died from 19th to 25th. 81 persons died throughout the country, and it is increasingly very worrisome.
And prior to December, we had already almost 1,000 cases when it comes to our road crashes. So
it's basically attributable to indiscipline by those who are driving our vehicles on our various routes and highways. That is the key factor. They don't respect traffic rules and regulations. And even the traffic rules and regulations, they have not seen the content of what is in the Road Traffic Act and what is the road traffic regulation. Okay. So they are not able to abide by them. That seems to be problematic. And during this year, we should be seeing seemingly trying or get great effort towards addressing this issue.
I want to find out if we have figures in terms of arrests also of the corporates of these, those who cause these accidents, amongst others.
They are there, and we shall release it to you very soon. But
great. At least it's assuring that some arrests also have been made.
The year. By the close of the year, we will come out with the number of people we have arrested and the various fines and penalties that they have paid.
At the last count, how did it look like?
By November, it was around the fines that we have gotten was above 10,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Yes, it was above. It was getting to 20,000 Ghana cedis.
Meanwhile, the National Road Safety Authority wants stiffer punishment for road traffic offenders. Pearl Edusichesi speaks for the authority.
Road safety is a shared and collective responsibility. And if we have to bring these statistics down, as we educate, we sensitize, we create the awareness, the other party, which is the road user, must do its part. Just take it that the roads are bad. Take it that there is no enforcement. You need to take your own safety into your hands and not to flout the traffic rules and regulation. And also, irresponsibility partly on the part of duty bearers. If we are all up and doing, I think this problem will be solved halfway by now. But we need enforcement, tightened, rigorous enforcement, coupled with the education. That is what will do the trick. But when we relax in our bid to enforce these rules because they don't know, and then when they are apprehended or prosecuted, the sanctions meted out to them is not very, very harsh to deter themselves and others, these things will continue to happen on our roads, despite the rigorous and continuous education and the pumping in of money for campaigns that we do from our end.
Now, the police says security agencies and gun owners will not be spared should they compromise public peace and security. The caution from the Director of Public Affairs of the Police Service, Superintendent Alexander Obin, follows the arrest of a military man seen shooting sporadically at the ANC Mall in Accra. The suspect, identified as Flight Sergeant Nicholas Owusu Frimpong, is said to have done that to usher in the new year. We can now hear from the Public Affairs Director, Superintendent Alexander Obin, who says investigations are currently ongoing in collaboration with the military. However, he cautions security personnel who compromise public peace will not be spared.
With the support that we had and the collaboration with our sister security agencies, we were able to identify the person who conducted himself in that manner on the Friday, specifically at the AC Mall around Nistikon, and in the process being forthcoming. So, because investigation is ongoing and is cooperating, and we take this opportunity to admonish our clients, those who own security agencies, our laws in Ghana, that all of us have a responsibility to comply with rules of engagement, particularly with regard to gun ownership and use, and therefore we want to appeal through your network that everybody should be circumspect with the use of firearm, even when the person is permitted, so that the public's peace and safety will not be compromised. I think at the end of the day, the investigation will unravel some of these things, and if there is a need to share, definitely we will do that. But for now, it's early days yet, and we allow investigations to be carried out by the military, among others.
So it is confirmed that the suspect is a military man?
Yes.
But why is he being kept by the military and not the police when indeed you have arrested him?
I think there's a collaboration, so we allow the investigation to go on. We were supported by intelligence support from our various stakeholders, including the general public.
Well, so how soon are we hoping to get further details?
We must allow the investigation, and in the course of it, if there's a need to share, as we continuously do it, we will do it.
Well, let's do some more on this. Thankfully, we are joined by the Acting Director of Public Relations at the Ghana Armed Forces, Commander Andy La Ayani. Grateful for your time here on Joy News Prime. So we understand the officer in question is in your custody, in detention. Has investigation started, and what can you share with us?
Yes, good evening to you and your viewers. Yes, I can confirm that the said military person is in our custody. Investigations have started, and the military police is leading the investigations. And once they are done with the investigations, the necessary actions will be taken. If it should come out that he indeed went against our service rules.
The video is out there clearly, seeing him in the act. The police statement also clearly indicates that he committed an offense. When are we going to see you hand him over to the police to be processed for court?
The military police will go through the normal processes with their investigations. And once they are done with their investigations, as to whether he should be handed over to the civil police for whether it's prosecution or for further investigations, that I cannot tell for now. But then what I can assure the general public is that the military high command, the CDS, will not entertain, and they have always said it, at any opportunity they get with their troops, Nobody will be shielded when you go foul against the laws. And so we should just allow the military police to conclude their investigations. This one is going to be a very short investigation because obviously the video that went viral is a bit clear. And so it's not going to be any long investigations. When the investigation is over, the necessary actions will be taken.
In 2021, there were a few but unfortunate incidents of military officers misconducting themselves. Has the military high command dealt with all these cases? And I'm asking this because the concern is that from the public, usually some of these men are shielded.
I can assure you nobody, no military person who has gone foul against the law has been ever shielded. It is unfortunate that sometimes, and I accept this, that we do not communicate the decisions or the punitive actions that we have taken. And so it appears as if we have let them go off the hook without any punishment. But everybody who has gone against our regulations has gone through the processes, and those who deserve to be punished have been punished. And I agree that we have not been able to communicate this clearly to the general public, and that is what is fueling the perception that we do not punish our own, but it is not the case.
Commander Andy Layani, thank you very much. We'll leave it here because of time. That's the Acting Director of Public Affairs for the Military High Command. Now, the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, has urged factions in the Boko conflict to use legitimate and judicious means to resolve the conflict than resorting to arms or violence. He noted that Ghana is a country of rule of law and that must be respected, and no group or individual will be allowed to make the country unsafe or ungovernable. Ambrose Derry spoke to Joy News' Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam in an exclusive interview on the margins of a New Year party held for his constituents at Koligu.
Derry spoke on a wide range of issues, starting with the development of the Upper West region and ended with the state of the country's security.
Have we reached the ultimate? No. We haven't done so. That's why I started by saying that we are relatively peaceful, relatively safe, but still moving forward and still being the oasis of peace in this country.
He then zeroed in on the recent conflict in Boko in the Upper East region, which has resulted in curfew being imposed in the area.
It has been settled for decades that the President Bokonaba, the Kusasi Bokonaba, is the Bokonaba without dispute, confirmed by a Supreme Court decision, has been the case in the past, and this government has no intentions of disturbing the situation. On the contrary, we are determined to protect the status quo. I'm disturbed when I see anything that's ethnic based. The ethnic groups have existed peacefully over the years, and we do not want any division in the north, or indeed any part of the country, along ethnic lines. Mampuchis and Kusasis have coexisted in the Boko area and in other parts of the country, and nothing should be done to disturb that cordial relationship.
Ambrose Derry stated that government has no interest in who becomes the chief of an area, but has unwavering interest in maintaining peace of those areas.
I want to advise all those who want to call themselves youth associations of various organizations to know that this is a state where the rule of law must be respected. We are all equal before the law, and no one is above the law, and nobody will be allowed to take the law into his or her own hands and make this country ungovernable.
He urged all warring factions to use legitimate means to resolve the conflict, then result into violence.
And I want to say that applies to the rest of the country. If you have a chieftaincy matter, go to the traditional institutions, traditional council, judicial committee of the regional houses of chiefs, national house of chiefs, and from them to the Supreme Court. Let no one think that you can take the law into your hands.
The Interior Minister also used the opportunity to rebut allegations leveled against him on the ceding of lands belonging to Lambusai to Nanda municipality at a press conference held at Lambusai by a group calling themselves Consent Sisala Movement.
All the elevation did was to change the status from district to municipality, maintaining the existing boundaries that have been in the past. There is no iota of truth whatsoever that I'm party or privy or part of any move to take any land. The most ludicrous one is I'm alleged to have been trying to create another district in which there's a northern Nandom district with my village as the capital. I ask all those who have heard the allegation to ignore it with the contempt that it deserves. There is no such scheme or plan on my part to create a district. Not at all. Not at all.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam, Kokoligu.
Away from security, let's talk some education. Now, the District Director of Education for Techima North, Mrs. Theresa Kpebu, has charged parents in the area to be supportive of the education of their ward at the basic level. She admonished parents to encourage their children to be in school by providing them with the basic tools needed to help them stay. That's one of the following reports by correspondent Anasabit.
Children at the basic level do better in school when parents are involved in their academic lives. These early years of schooling are an important time for parents to be informed and supportive about the child's education and to set the stage for children to develop and grow as young learners. With children in rural schools the most affected when it comes to their parents' involvements, the District Director of Education for the Techima North District, Mrs. Theresa Kpebu, has called on parents to be concerned with their ward's education.
We have a lot to do as parents. The first thing we can do as parents is to encourage our children to go to school and learn. Children should always be in school. So parents ensure that your children are in school and they are learning, and that you provide them with their basic needs so they'll be able to concentrate on their learning. If a child goes to school and has no pen, has no book, they will not be able to write and understand anything. So parents, help your peoples, help your wards. They are the future tomorrow. When we are not there, we are gone, they take over from us. So let's prepare them for the future so that when we are not there, they take over. And our teachers, put up your best. We have been trained to teach the children. Do the right thing in the schools. Teach them the right thing so that our children will learn and in future they take up from us.
Mrs. Theresa made this call at the fundraising ceremony organized by Sirius Preparatory School. Founder and director of the school, Yeboah Samson Jr., charged government to extend support to pupils in private schools to help improve the standard of education across board.
I want to call on the government to support the private schools. When it comes to looking at the standard or trying to look at the Ghanaian child in terms of examination writing. Currently, we are going to the students in Ghana are going to write exams at P4 level, and I am very much aware that the private school was not considered. So if you want to get the standard for Ghanaian students, I think the private school should also be considered. Secondly, I want to plead that there must be a system to actually test the standard of the preschool, because that is the foundation. So if you can get a solid building, we need to lay the foundation very well. So I'm pleading that there must be a platform created so that we can actually have competition for the preschool and the primary level too.
On his part, Chief of Jibri Nana Amiao Kesebin II appealed to authorities to provide speed ramps in the area to help minimize the number of children killed by overspeeding vehicles in the area. We always record pedestrian knockdowns involving children in this area. Throughout the year, we've been recording such accidents, with only the month of July being the month without one. So we are appealing to authorities to come to our aid by providing us with speed ramps to help reduce these menace. Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Jibril.
This is Joy News Prime with me, Ernest Mini. We're taking a break. When we return, we'll bring you highlights of the Love and Insure FM family party in the park.
Hello, good evening to you. Welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. The Institute of Energy Security has said the extension of the suspension of the stabilization levy on petroleum products for another month will have little impact on fuel prices. Joy Business is learning President Akufo-Addo approved the extension based on a request from the Finance and Energy Ministries. Researcher with the IAS, Fitz Moses, says it would make little impact as prices are set to go up further.
The view that the suspension in itself is not enough because we look at the factors causing or pushing prices upwards, and they are not things that suspending a 16 pesos or a 14 pesos levy would cause a reduction in. Remember when even the 1st November when prices were expected to fall because the levy was going to be suspended, prices rather increased by some 10 pesos because the things that were causing prices to rise up were not things that government was adequately handling or was even able to handle properly. Looking at the cedi stabilization, consistently from somewhere July last year, we've seen cedi continue to depreciate on marginal terms. In the last window, it depreciated again by 0.5 from 6.18 cedi to the US dollar. It's currently around 6.21 cedi to the US dollar. And so these are things that are fundamental that, do away with all, with or without any government intervention, suspension or removal of taxes or levies on the price without, may still force prices to go up further because the OMCs and BDCs are in the market to trade and make profits. And anything that would force their costs to increase would push onto the consumer.
And what is the outlook for the coming months beyond the first pricing window and as we deal with the pandemic?
Well, what we believe is that with the current prices that we've been seeing on the international market, where prices are seemingly stable, we expect that for the second half of January, already in the first half of January, you see prices rising up at the various pumps. However, in the second half of January, we expect that the prices that we will see now would remain stable for some time. Unless, again, like the OMCs have been doing in the past few months, the past 3-4 months, there will be a reduction in their margins to cushion consumers a bit, but we expect prices to remain stable.
Meantime, some major oil marketing companies have started increasing prices of fuel at the various service stations beginning this week, which is the first pricing window for the month of January. Total and Star Oil are the first two market players to effect the increment. Here's more. This price adjustment has been influenced by the rising price of crude oil on the world market and the depreciation of the local currency within the period. On the average, the oil marketing firms are expected to increase the petroleum products by about 20 pesos from the last pricing window, which ended December 31. Total Petroleum is currently selling a litre of petrol and diesel at 6 cedis 80 pesos and 6 cedis 85 pesos respectively. Star Oil is however selling both petrol and diesel at 6 cedis 45 pesos a litre due to the price war amongst competitors. Other players are expected to adjust their prices upwards in the course of the week, but in a way that will attract consumers. Indigenous market leader Guel is however expected to increase its fuel prices by the end of the week. Meanwhile, Joy Business is learning that some OMCs are likely to maintain their old prices till the end of this pricing window. Also, away from fuel matters is New Year's Day holiday, and we at Joy Business decided to celebrate the day by donating some food items to the less privileged at the Agbogbloshie market here in Accra. Here's James Ishan's report.
Thousands of people, mainly women and children, thronged the forecourt of the Sikins office in Agbogbloshie to partake in the street breakfast edition of the Joy Business Outreach Program. Items such as drinks, rice, bread, chicken, toffees, among others, were distributed to them. Head of Joy Business, Odelia Ntiamwa, explained the reason for this initiative.
This year, we decided as Joy Business to send some love and compassion to our less privileged brothers and sisters by offering them breakfast. We know that during this Christmas season, many people will eat some very good food, but these are people who will not get the opportunities all of us have gotten. So we got the business community, Valley View University, Teka, which gave us drinks, and then another company gave us chicken for us to be able to prepare some good breakfast for them. And that's exactly why we are here. Every year we plan to do different things for the less privileged community. This year we decided to do breakfast. That's 2022. At the end of the year, it may be a different plan.
That's some great stuff there. That's it for business. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. The news continues after this break.
Welcome back from the break. It's now time for sports, and my name is Oreku Ampofo, and we do start off with news just coming in minutes away from now, and that's Milovan Rajevac has named his final 28-man squad for the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations, and this is how the final list looks like. In terms of the players that have been dropped, it's Afanejan of AS Roma who loses out on the spot. We're told that he said he wasn't ready for the call-up and would love a bit more time with Roma. And then also Samid, who plays at Clermont Foot in Ligue A, he's also dropped out of the team. And there were reports that his team probably did not want to lose him for the period of the Africa Cup of Nations. So this is the 28-man squad. Everyone else who was in the provisional squad still in there. But so far, less than half of these players are in the camp in Doha, as most of them are now returning from their club duties. Remember, CAF did give an extension after consultations with FIFA and other member associations to allow European clubs to let African Cup of Nations players play up until January 3rd. So as a result, majority of Ghana's key players have still not reported for the camp in Doha. However, Ghana would be playing defending champions Algeria on Wednesday in the only friendly for Milovan Rajevac's team ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations. And interestingly, 24 hours, or no, in fact, next week by this time, the Black Stars would have faced Morocco in the first Group C game, and we'll bring you commentary of that game as well live on Joy 99.7. But let's still stick with the Black Stars, where former defender Sami Kufuor has described CAF's decision to approve late arrivals of players for the Africa Cup of Nations as disrespect to the competition. According to him, the Continent Football Governing Body lacks regard for its own tournament, and the decision is a testament.
I think it was a wrong approach from CAF, in my opinion. Everybody has opinion. Everybody is entitled to speak whatever he wants to say or she wants to say. But for me, I think it's a totally disrespect to most of the African nations, because in Europe, where there's a rules and regulation, they will not abuse it. So why are they doing this to our tournament? And for us, as an African, this is a wake up for us, and everybody just really love to see this tournament. So if a journalist from Europe asks why is the player going to African Cup of Nations, I think it's totally disrespect. They have to also respect our opinion and respect our tournament, because you cannot say this to a South American tournament. Yeah. Why are you saying this to us? For me, I think it's totally disrespect. 5 days to the tournament and you are releasing the players. What if the coach has a plan for his team? And if you give them 3 weeks, then there will be a preparation. If we want a better quality tournament, we shouldn't be hiding from the truth. We cannot just hide from the truth, because you need to give the players the time to rest and to come into the tournament, because they are playing with their heart. And anything can happen. We saw what happened in Algeria. Yeah. A player just fall down and died. Exactly. From what? It's all about pressure. It's about pressure, game after game, game after game. When you just playing 10 January and the tournament started on the 9th, You travel back to your base, and how many days do you have to prepare with your team? Exactly. So it's a problem for me. And I think CAF need to do something about it next time around, because now it's already gone. But next time, the respect they have to give it to the nation. Every nation is qualified to have their respect for himself.
Well, you can get some more sports stories on myjoyonline.com/sports or follow us on social media at Joy Sports GH. My name is Oreku Ampofo, and that's how we wrap up the sport here.
Thanks for staying with us here on Joy News Prime, and it was a good time of bonding for many families who joined the staff of Love and Inshira FM in Kumasi at the Ratri Park for this year's family party in the park. It was off for 2 years because of COVID-19, but back today with a bang. Here are highlights. And today on Showbiz, we bring you the New Year message of some of your favorite entertainers.
I'm wishing and praying for nothing but the best. I'm wishing and thanking God all the time, and also praying that He continues to bless me and bless everybody around me, and also elevate our music industry so people can fall in love with my music more, so that other ears can also hear my music. So it's more about praying to God to help us as usual, to let our dreams come to pass.
I'm a person, I love growth, I love change, because it's inevitable, you know, and it's needed. You need to grow. So I just want to grow in every aspect of my life, especially musically. Happy New Year to the gang, you know, to the baddest gang, to the Shea gang, and of course to my lovely Ghanaians. Enjoy this festive season and think positive. Be positive-minded and know that Ebefa, right?
The future for Jackie Music is very big. My people should look forward to a lot more good music. Bigger things are coming. This is literally like the smallest of it all, because I'm working really hard, and now that my market has grown bigger, I'm really looking forward to doing much more bigger things to make sure that my market continues to grow.
God has been good to us. God has brought us to the end of the year. Happy New Year to you and yours, your family, your friends. In this coming year, I wish that everybody will be happy, everybody will be healthy, everybody will be wealthy. We'll see each other, laugh, be happy, and make merry. Happy New Year to all my fans, to all Ghanaians. Love.
A lot of ups, a lot of downs, but like we stayed strong, everything's looking bright. I'm excited for 2022. New music, more shows, more videos, more Lil J. Like that's what's in my mind right now.
So that's it from your entertainers, but that's our show for tonight. Many thanks for your company. Please log on to myjoyonline.com. You'll find many stories there. I'm Ernest Mina. Good night.